Here we go.
Got everything?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Here, honey. An offering for the king.
See you later, Mom.
Listen to your teacher, okay? And, give the king my best.
Dance with an angel, Mom.
Yeah. Maybe we'll tango today instead of waltz.
That's our way of saying goodbye. My husband is an Air Force pilot and refers to fighter planes as angels. When he'd go on a mission that kept him away from home, I'd tell him in frustration to go dance with his angels. Matilda grew up hearing this, and now she uses it all the time. There's a nice view of the King's Bridge from our house. That iron giant is the pride of Grace Maria, our capital city. In the old quarter of the city beyond the bridge, you can make out an ancient castle, which is even more famous than the bridge. My daughter Matilda is going there on a field trip today. In the throne room rests the Golden King. He's been smiling for a good 600 years now. The king was a gentle person who was a bit on the small side, but he crafted a giant suit of armor that convinced his enemies to surrender without a single fight. Afterwards, they found such warmth in his smile that they bowed down to him in humility. Anyway, that's how the story goes. His smiling face still touches the hearts of our people. The very face my daughter and the others got on a bus to see this morning.
That was a brand new day.
The song on the radio seems to be a perfect match for the sunny weather.
Radio's taking all of your favorite requests.
What's happening? That awful sound and the shaking. Was that a blast of wind from an explosion? The castle disappeared behind a pillar of flame.
They took out King's Bridge! Who's attacking? What the hell is going on? Control, get those planes up fast! Roger that. Preparing for takeoff. I want a damage assessment now. We've taken extensive damage from those bombers, including a number of civilian casualties. What's going on with the bombers? We can't hold out much longer. What? The orders from above! Bolter, taking off! Yes, cinema. I want every plane Garuda 1, you are cleared for takeoff. Don't get overeager. Just do what you always do. Garuda 1 liftoff. Cerberus team runway clearance granted. Takeoff when ready. All aircraft under airborne command's jurisdiction following takeoff. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
Airborne warning and control system ghost eye to all scrambling defense craft. The situation has not yet been ascertained. We must implement an emergency reformation. Follow your individual instructions. Garuda 1, you do not have a wingman. Let's see. Shamrock. Shamrock, are you alone too? Very well. As of now, you're Garuda 2.
Okay. So I'm Garuda 2. Garuda 1, I've got your back. No time for introductions now, though. Go ahead and I'll follow your lead. Never was good with directions anyhow.
Garuda team, you are authorized to engage any hostile aircraft above Grace Maria.
Roger that. May the Golden King smile upon us. Zygon to Strigan team, we are prepared to launch. Strigan leader to Zygon. We will commence mission operations once your delivery is complete. Attention all aircraft, we are ready for Nimbus launch. Begin the countdown. Booster ignition complete. Launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire! Engage the enemy at will following Nimbus impact. Finish them off.
Fire and smoke rises from the city before me. The King's Bridge is gone. Oh no. No! Matilda! I vaguely hear a scream of terror that sounds much like my own voice from afar. I feel as though the Golden King's gentle smile is moving farther away from me. Every now and then, I tell my daughter the story of the night some years ago. A night when the sky was radiant with shooting stars. That night, your father and I made countless wishes together. An asteroid called Ulysses came into Earth's orbit and disintegrated into millions of pieces, which poured down on the land below. As we watched the shooting stars that night, fragments from the asteroid rained down on our eastern neighbor, Estovakia, damaging a great deal of their infrastructure and devastating their economy. Soon after, the news reported that their nation had fallen into a civil war, one that would last for years. Eventually, the internal strife was brought to an end when the generals came into power. In the midst of hardship, the citizens of Estovakia were convinced that the only way they could recover as a nation was to rely on a military government led by these generals. Before long, they went so far as to invade our nation, the Republic of Ameria. Our military was forced to retreat to Kesid, an island far to the west. My husband, a fighter pilot, also hasn't come home since. I walk on. I am unable to think. All I can do is follow the others. Ever since we came to the twisted remains of my daughter's school bus, my soul has left me. I am empty. Some of our tanks are parked at the approach to the bridge.
Let's pick up the pace, people! There's a train still running on the other side of the river. She goes all the way out to the edge of the border. We've got to blast this bridge before the enemy gets a hold of it. So move it or lose it, people!
Here I see the wreckage of a jet that was shot down. On what's left of the nose, I can make out some writing. Melissa. It's my name. What a cruel twist of fate for me to see this. My pilot husband, who had left for work that day with the same loving look on his face as always. He had painted my name on his angel. I go into the crowd on the train and endure 2 weeks of pure hell before finally ending up at a refugee camp at the border. I don't know any of the names on the list. My compatriots, who have now become refugees, gather around a single radio to listen to the broadcast. Even though the station is broadcasting out of Grace Maria, occupying forces have taken complete control of the airwaves. The enemy must have completely overtaken our capital, Grace Maria.
And although newer parts of the city have suffered considerable damage, the castle and a significant section of the old quarter have escaped relatively unscathed.
The castle's okay.
However,
Thank God.
the announcer went on to say that our castle was robbed of countless antiquities that once were elaborately displayed in our castle. Stripped bare.
As the Estovakian military, it is our sworn duty to govern this crumbling nation and get it back on its feet, starting right here in Grace Maria. I found a group of street children in front of the central station here, where the area has literally been reduced to a slum. Step on up here, little girl. What do you have to say about all this?
Go dance with the angels, mister.
My ears were not deceiving me. That voice belonged to my daughter, Matilda.
I am Lieutenant Colonel Wojciech of the Estovakian Air Force. I arrived on a train to Grace Maria. To my detriment, I sustained a leg injury in the early stages of the war, relegating me to ground duty. I am now working as an intelligence officer for the Air Force. The ceiling has collapsed in the central station. From there, the city appears resigned to its fate beneath the Estovakian flag. What a pitiful sight. But at least there are no craters to mar the land. They are lucky in that sense. There goes my spare clothing. They will not be so lucky with these documents. What a miserable city this must be, with their children in such a state. The fine works of art, once displayed in this castle, were completely gone before the occupation forces arrived. Even the ancient armor of the Golden King, the collective heart and soul of the city's people, along with the crown, have disappeared without a trace. I must relay this unfortunate information back to the generals in my country. They were quite fond of those antiquities.
My daughter is alive somewhere in Grace Maria. It took me days to get here. Days of walking. But I know this road ends somewhere up ahead. There was no need to think about how to cross the river. Didn't that soldier on the tank say they were going to destroy this bridge before the enemy came? I start to feel as if things never go as they are said to.